So good morning everyone, my name is Lalit Soni and you are watching Drishti IAS. In this live session, we will be discussing the Indian Express newspaper as usual. Now before moving further, I would like to tell you a small story. Generally in the winter mornings what happens is that I miss my childhood, everyone does, that chaotic family drama and all, the mornings, the breakfast, mother is in the kitchen, father is using this radio to wake us up, and the best part over there was that aroma of a chai that is boiling in the kitchen, mom is making it. And when we are talking about the changes which comes in our life, after a while you will be seeing that you will go to your school, after that your college, and then you will be working. So there is a change in your lifestyle which comes. In the recent years I have found myself sipping coffee in the morning. Earlier that was the tea which I used to take and I was very fond of it, but recently after the, you can say, job and all, I started taking coffee, and various people told me that it might be addictive, and I thought so that it might be addictive. But the thing is, after reading a newspaper or news article day before yesterday, I realized that having coffee in the morning can be beneficial as well. Now in today's discussion we will be talking about that as well, but it is said that if you are having a coffee in the morning, so that can actually increase your life expectancy. So that is the one thing which I wanted to tell you before we start our newspaper analysis today. Other than that, we will be seeing that what are the data which has been given to support that. So if you are having a good coffee in the morning, that is good for your health as well. Now let's start with the discussion over here. We will be starting with the fact of the day, then we will be going with the next type, that is your geography through map over here, and then there are some of the important articles which we will be discussing. Okay, so these articles are basically related to your chief election commissioner, so we will be talking about that. You must have heard about the you can say election process which has been changed after there was a new law which has been brought by the government of India in 2023. So in that regard there has been some changes which is there, breaking the tradition. Generally this tradition is there that after the, you can say, the chief election commissioner is retiring, at that point of time whoever is the senior most member in the election commission, he will be going for the post of the chief election commissioner. But that tradition will be broken for the first time. We will be seeing that after 2023 act, this is the first time they will be going for the selection of chief election commissioner. So we will be talking about this process. Then Genome India process project phase 2. We had a phase 1 which started in 2020, and then there was this 10,000 samples of genome which has been sequenced. Now they are going for the phase 2. So we will be talking about that, what will be the objective and all. So we will be seeing that. Okay, then comes the next article, that is Panama will remain open for all. In our last discussion I might have tell you that US president has said that they might take control of Panama. Okay, they might go for again taking the administrative control of the Panama, because this is the canal which was actually started by the French people, or some kind of French support was there, but because of the lack of the finances they could not complete it. Then USA has taken over and USA completed it, and for some time they have actually administered it, and after that they have gave the control to the Panama people. Now there was some kind of issue, or they are afraid of the Chinese control in this area, and considering that they have our when we are talking about the president elect of USA, that is Donald Trump, he has made a statement that they might go for the taking back the control of the Panama. He has made some very problematic statements recently with respect to the Mexican Gulf of Mexico, and other than that Greenland as well. So all these things has been part of his uncertain policies. So we'll be talking about this article as well. We'll be seeing the location, we'll also see what are the concerns which are there. Okay, other than that we will be talking about this for your own read. There will be one article, explanation of the practice question which was given to you in the previous lecture, and then the practice question for today's class. Now we are offering ISGS foundation courses at our new center, that is Noida sector 15. Batches are starting for Hindi medium from the 16th of January 11:30 AM for Hindi medium, and for English medium admissions are open. You can directly visit the center and get yourself enrolled, or you can call on this number for any kind of query, that is 87501 87501. Okay. Now let's move further and start our discussion. Now in the fact of the day we will be talking about one factor over here, that is your national anthem and the national song. Recently there was this controversy which has happened with respect to the governor of a state, but that is not important for us to go into that. Right now what is the thing is some of the fact which you should remember with respect to the national anthem and the national song. the song Jan Gan Man, national anthem, composed originally in Bangla by Rabindranath Tagore in 1911. So that is one important factor which you should remember. It was adopted in its Hindi version as the national anthem of India. Okay, so basically originally it was written in Bangla, then it was translated, okay, and then it was accepted as a, you can say, national anthem of India. Then it was first sung on 17th December 1911 at Calcutta session of the Indian National Congress. So that is there. Coming to the next thing, national song of the India, okay, that is Vande Mataram, written by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. You know that there was this novel which has been written by him, that is Anand Math. Okay, Anand Math is a novel which has been written with respect to the Sannyasi revolt. Okay, so you can actually read about Sannyasi revolt. So the description of Sannyasi revolt has been made in Anand Math. It was written in 1870, and in that novel there was this song, that is Vande Mataram, which was there. So that has been made, you can say, our national song. Anand Math was written in 1882. The song was first written in 1817, but then it was included in Anand Math in 1882. It was first sung at 1896 INC session. It's patriotic hymn that represents the reverence for Mother India and was source of inspiration during the India's struggle of freedom. Okay, so this is about our national anthem and national song. Here both were adopted by the Constituent Assembly on 24th January 1950. Now this date you should remember. 2 days before our we have actually enacted our constitution, or you can say enforced our constitution. So that is 24th of January 1950. Okay, I hope that is clear. We can move further. Now coming to the geography through map, we have talked about the hills and the important mountain ranges in the central India. Now we will be coming to the peninsular India. So if you are talking about this particular area, you know that these are your western ghats, these are your eastern ghats, okay, and this is the confluence region, that is basically your Nilgiri region. Okay, now let's see. Some of the names are given over here. You don't have to go worry much about all these things, because these are some of the names which you already know. Okay, when we are talking about the Sheshachalam, that you know, then coming to the, this is part of your eastern ghats over here. Then coming to the Nilgiri, Nilgiri I told you that is your confluence point. When we talk about the western ghats, then western ghats has been divided into various regions. Okay, that we have Sahyadris, we have Konkan, we have Malabar. Okay, so like that it has been divided, but important peaks or the hills are here. One is your Nilgiri. Nilgiri's peak is Doda Beta. Okay, Doda Beta is the highest peak of Nilgiri. Then coming to the Annamalai, Annamalai's highest peak is Anai Mudi. Okay, so that is there in Kerala. Then comes to the last you can say range, that is Cardamom Hills. Okay, Cardamom Hills are somewhere over here. When you go to Kanyakumari, you will be seeing you can say hill range from there, that is your Cardamom Hill range. Okay, so that is about your hill ranges in the Western Ghats. Here you can see we have Palani Hills, which is there somewhere over here. That is, you can say, if we are talking about the Nilgiris, so in the southern side of the Nilgiris we have Palani Hills. Then Surumali Hills is there. Okay, Panchmalai Hills is there. Then Shivroy Hills is there. Javadi Hills, Nagari Hills, Palkonda Hills, and Venukonda Hills, Nalamala Hills. Now these are some of the important hills which are there. When we are talking about the locations, here you can see in this particular list, I guess I have given the locations as well. When we are talking about the Nalamala, that is there in Andhra Pradesh and the Telangana region. Okay, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana region. Venukonda Hills, that is there in Andhra Pradesh. Palkonda, that is there in you can say Andhra Pradesh. So if you are using this term Konda, that you can identify that maybe it is in Andhra Pradesh. That is a general description. You cannot say that every time it can be true. Okay, but again, if you don't know the answer in the examination and you have to attempt the question anyway, because you know that most of the time when you are talking about the UPSC examinations, you will be seeing that after 40-45 questions, you will be like now you have to attempt questions, but you are not very sure about these things. In that case, we go for the elimination technique. Okay, so that's where you can use such things. Okay, so when we are talking about the Nalabala, Venukonda, Palkonda, these are there in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana region. Then coming to the next one, Nagari Hills, that is there in Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Javadi Hills, that is there in Tamil Nadu. Okay, Shivroy, that is in Tamil Nadu. Panchamalai, that is in Tamil Nadu, and Shirumalai, that is in Tamil Nadu. So here you can say these hills over here. These are there in Tamil Nadu. These are there in your Andhra Pradesh and Telangana region. Okay. Then coming to the next one, that is Palani Hills, Tamil Nadu. Varusnath Hills, that is in Tamil Nadu. Cardamoms, we have already seen that is from the Kanyakumari, you will be seeing that. So obviously Kerala and Tamil Nadu is the region where you will be finding them. Annamalai Hills, that is there in Kerala and Tamil Nadu, because it's the hill range. So extension will be there in Tamil Nadu. Mostly it is there in Kerala. Okay. Now moving further, Nilgiri, that is Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Karnataka. Now Nilgiri is the confluence region. Over here you can see. This is the region, basically is your Nilgiri region. So Karnataka's part will be there, Kerala's part and Tamil Nadu's part will be there. Okay, so that is about your Nilgiri hills. Now Nilgiri is an important biosphere reserve as well. That is why we have to remember that as well. Okay, then there are tea plantations which are there. Coming to the next one, that is Sheshachalam, that is there in Andhra Pradesh, that is rich in red sandals and the biodiversity. You must have seen this Pushpa movie. Okay, so you will be seeing that in Andhra Pradesh there is this sandal woods which are there. So that is Sheshachalam hills. Then coming to the next one, Doda Beta, that is there in Tamil Nadu, Nilgiri hills part of, this is the peak, highest peak of the Nilgiri hills. Then Anaimudi, that is in Kerala, Annamalai hills, that is the highest peak in the, you can say, South India, and the Annamalai hills. Okay, so this is about some of the hill ranges which we have discussed with respect to the southern India or the peninsular plateau part. Okay. Now coming to our discussion with respect to the CEC, Chief Election Commissioner. In a first selection process for the next Chief Election Commissioner, cast wider net, will be going for a break from the tradition. What is the tradition? Mostly you will be seeing that the senior most member of the Election Commission, we know that there are, when we are talking about the Election Commission, we have CEC plus 2 election commissioners which are there. So whoever is senior most, that will be next CEC. But recently that there was this act which has came in 2023. Before that there was a Supreme Court judgment. In Supreme Court judgment they have said that until government decides for an act or until government come up with an act, there will be a committee. That committee will be selecting the next CEC. That committee will be having, you can say, Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition and CGI. Okay, Chief Justice of India. But then after that, Government of India has come up with the, you can say, act. After this judgment, they have replaced CGI with a, you can say, another minister nominated by Prime Minister. Okay, so that is what has been done, and this time we will be seeing that this committee will be working. Okay, so that is how we will be breaking from the tradition. So let's see what is the process. Selection for the next Chief Election Commissioner. Previously, the senior most election commissioner would automatically become the CEC. The new law allows a broader selection process. Okay, so now we have a selection process for that. Now let's see. The Chief Election Commissioner and the other election commissioners, appointment, condition of service and the terms of office act 2023. Now we are having this act. Now this enables a consideration of a candidate from outside the election commission. Now earlier what used to happen is that we have CEC, then there are 2 election commissioners. Now when he is outgoing, any one of them who is senior most will be will becoming the CEC, and another chief election commissioner will be appointed. Now that is there, but the thing is, now we have made a selection procedure, so they will not be selecting from within the election commission, they will be going for a broader selection process. Now this enables consideration of the candidate from the outside the election commission. A search committee chaired by the Minister of Law will prepare a panel of 5. Now there will be a search committee. This search committee's job is to find out the potential candidates. Okay. Now under law minister, they will be going for the 5 names. They will come up with the 5 names, and after that 5 names list will be sent to a selection committee. Now this selection committee will be having Prime Minister, the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, and the cabinet minister, one of the cabinet minister which is nominated by the Prime Minister himself. Okay. So again, now when we are talking about the selection committee, earlier there was Prime Minister, leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, and then there was CGI, Chief Justice of India, and now that has been replaced with the Prime Minister, leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, and then there is a cabinet minister which is nominated by the Prime Minister. Okay. Now these 3 people will be going for the selection of a candidate from this list of the 5 panelists which has been given by the, you can say, search committee. Okay, so that is the procedure right now. Now coming to the next one over here, Supreme Court involvement. As I told you, the law was not there earlier, so that is why Supreme Court has the law was introduced following the Supreme Court's intervention addressing the petition questioning the previous selection process. The Chief Justice of India is no longer part of the selection committee, which has led to some controversy that if CGI is not there, there are chances that the selection process again be biased, or the transparency might not be there, because obviously when we are talking about this selection committee, Prime Minister, leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, and then we are having a cabinet minister. Okay, so basically cabinet minister and prime minister, they are having the same opinion only. Okay, so that is there. Opposition is concerned, critics argue that the removing CGI from the process could undermine the credibility and the politicized appointments. So that is about this particular issue. We have seen that what is the current condition, what is the selection committee. So I hope that it can be important for you that this time that question might be asked with respect to the selection committee. Okay, so please be aware of that. Now, coming to the next article, that is the second phase of the Genome India project. Now, when we are talking about the Genome India project, what is that? Simply, when we are talking about the genome, that is your, you can say, sequencing of the genetic material. Okay, genetic materials means that when we are talking about India, there are various people from various race, communities, ethnicities that are there. Now, when you have a genome sequenced of these of a normal person, of you can say a person who is free from any kind of disease, and you are having a genome of that particular person, and then there is a genome of a person who is having disease. Now you can be able to compare these two genomes, and you will be realizing that where is the problem, and if you can identify the problem, there are high chances that you can come up with a treatment as well. Now for that, genome sequencing become important. Genome sequencing means that you are putting the genome or the genetic material in a sequence, and so that you can identify it later. Okay, now let's see what is the project over here. Genome India is a government backed project to collect and catalog the genetic variation specific to a Indian population. Now when we are talking about the global level, at global level already there are such projects which has been there. Here you can say first human genome project was actually, it started in USA, that is international consortium funded by the US National Institute of Health. They have come up with the first genome sequencing project. Then world's first complete human genome was there in 2003. Then coming to the next one, 1000 genome project, that was again international collaboration that has published 1000 genomes in 2012. Okay, then other than that, there was this UK government, they have come up with their own, you can say 1 lakh genomes, that is there in 2018. Now considering all these things, India has thought that they should go for their own genome sequencing, because when we are talking about the you can say the overall at the world level or the global level, so there are various sample, these are not very specific to the Indian population. So that is why India has gone for their own genome sequencing, and they have started to collect sample in 2020, and they have decided that they will be going for the genome sequencing of 10,000 sequences, and from the 99 different ethnicities, or you can say the populations. Okay, so that is there. Now here, India specific genetic information is not very well reflected in the global human genome data, which I just told you. Such information is valuable for the number of reasons, including the diagnosis and the treatment of several gene related diseases. As I told you, let's say this is your genome sequenced. When we are talking about the sequencing, you know that we have DNA which is having a double helix you can say structure. Then these are the amino acids or the bases which are there. Okay, these bases are there. When we are talking about the genome sequencing, what we are doing is basically you are trying to identify which base is there. Okay, so they are making a list of this base over here, and then ultimately when there is a disease, so that disease is nothing but some kind of alteration in the base sequencing. And now you know that you are having a healthy genome and you are having a, you can say, genome with a disease, that you will be able to identify that where is the problem. Now you have identified, you have diagnosed the problem, then you might come up with the treatment as well. Okay, so that is the idea over here. Coming to the next one over here, launched in 2020, 10,000 sequence from the healthy individuals were collected in the first phase of the project. The second phase seeks to expand the database to 1 million sequences. Earlier that was 10,000, now we are going for the 1 million, that is your 10 lakh. Okay, so that is there, including genetic information of the people with specific disease as well. Okay, so till now we have taken the genome of healthy individuals. Now we will be taking genome of the people with specific disease like cancer, etc., so that we can identify that. Then a comparison of the healthy and the disease genome can help researchers identify the target developing treatments and diagnostic tests. It is the first step towards personalized treatment and the medicines, which is supposed to be the future of the healthcare. When we are talking about the personalized medicine, that means that the kind of treatment which is designed for your own disease. Okay, so you are having a disease with respect to a particular mutation in the gene. Now they are designing a treatment for your own disease. Okay, so that is personalized treatment, that is there. Okay, Other than that, the second phase would also cover many linguistic and the ethnic groups. In the first phase, individuals from the 99 population group were included, but in India there are 4,635 different populations which has been identified. So there are 4,635 different population group which has been identified. We have taken samples of only 99 you can say populations. So this time they are going for the 1 million mark, and that is why they will be including more and more linguistic as well as the other population group. The next phase would have represent all the states and union territories, most linguistic and the ethnic groups, and the rural population as well. So that is about the genome sequencing project, or you can say Genome India project phase 2. Okay, here you can see, besides the understanding the susceptibility of the people to specific disease which can lead to the personalized and the precision medicine, genome mapping has several other benefits as well, like tracing the ancestry. Now since you have the genome sequence and you have the genome sequence of throughout the globe, you are also having the genome sequencing, so you can be able to identify that with which a particular race it is matching properly, or you can say matching the most, and then you can say that your ancestry belongs to that particular race. Okay, so that is there. So that is tracing the ancestry and the evolutionary history of the people, advancing scientific research, and the preparation for the COVID like pandemic in the future. Okay, so these are some of the benefits which has been discussed over here. Now coming to the next part here, Genome India project, we have talked about that in brief. I have already told you all these things, just go through this. It will focus on the sequencing and the sequencing of the genome of the disease individual as well. So we are talking about the second phase over here. In the second phase, they will be going for the disease individual as well. In the first phase, they have only gone for the healthy individuals. After sequencing 10,000 genomes in the first phase to establish a baseline map, the project now aims to gather data specific to the disease for advancing precision medicine and the studying the genetic basis of the diseases. Then objective is to understanding disease susceptibility, improving diagnostic, developing targeted therapies, and preparing for pandemic like COVID-19. We have talked about that. Application, the data will benefit research in the disease prediction, treatment strategies, and understanding the evolutionary genetics. So we have talked about all these things. Here, when we are talking about the first phase of the genome sequencing, that started in January 2020, okay, then it was a multi-institutional project wherein you can say that the funding has been given by the Department of the Biotechnology, that is of the Government of India, okay, various multi-institutional consortium. That means that there are various institutions which are part of this particular project, okay, so that is there. Coming to the next one, the aim is to decode the genetic diversity of India's population through large-scale genome sequencing. Here you can say Genome India project key highlights are genome sequencing of the 10,000 individual earlier, now it has been increased to 1 million in the phase 2. So please remember that, covering 99 ethnic group, now they will be going for the more ethnic and the linguistic groups. Creation of genetic database in Indian Biological Data Center. Okay, so that is the genetic insight of for the public health. All these things we have discussed. Now we can move further to the next article. That is, what is pink fire retardant? Okay. Now fire retardant, with the name it is clear that something which is trying to stop the fire, okay, or you can say to basically control the fire, to check the fire. But the problem is that here they have used this word pink. Now why is that pink? Now this pink is to identify that area of coverage. Okay, let's say when we are talking about this particular map over here, you will be seeing that this is the map of USA. And right now these fires are there is somewhere around here in the Los Angeles. Okay, now we have Great Basin, we have Santa Ana winds, and because of which fires are prominent in the Los Angeles area. Earlier they were there in the Malibu region. Okay, so they have actually you can say spread it or expanded to the Los Angeles area. Now the thing is, let's say this is the area where fires are, and your government is trying to control the fire with the retardants. Now how will you know that in which area you have used the retardant? Okay, because you are just spraying it. So ultimately they will use this pink color retardant, or you can say some kind of chemicals which will be used over here, and these chemical will spread. Now wherever you are finding the color to be pink, okay, so that is telling you that this is the area which has been covered by the retardant. That is why this is your pink colored retardant. Okay, retardant, sorry. Now let's see what is the fire retardants. So with the name, as I told you, that it is clear that what is fire retardant. Let's see over here. A mix of chemicals used to control or slow the spread of the fire. Okay, if you are trying to control or slow down the spread of the fire, you are using the retardants. Commonly used brand is Phosgene. Why Phosgene? Because it is containing ammonium phosphate. Okay, ammonium phosphate they are having, that is why it is Phosgene. So basically they are trying to control fire with the frost check. The salt in the mixture block oxygen from fueling the fire and retain moisture for longer periods. Now, two things they have discussed. One is oxygen, second is the moisture. Okay, retaining moisture means that they are removing the dryness. Whenever there is a dryness, that means that it will lead to the expansion of the fire or the spread of the fire. Now, they are talking about blocking the oxygen, because you know that oxygen is an inflammable gas. Okay, when we are talking about the fire, etc., the important need is that there should be oxygen, okay, and oxygen is there, then only you will be seeing a fire. Okay, so considering that if they are blocking the oxygen, that means that there is less chance that fire will propagate further. So that is there, blocking the oxygens and the retaining the moisture. So that is why the salts or the chemicals are used in a such a way. Now, visual and the practical features. Retardant is a dyed pink for visibility, aiding firefighters in assessing the coverage area. I have already discussed that. It created a barrier against the wildfire by protecting the vegetation. Okay, so that is the whole idea. We are protecting the vegetation so that fire is not spreading along that direction. Now, what is the effectiveness? So, effectiveness depends on the area. Okay, success depends on the factors such as slope, terrain, type of vegetation, and the weather condition. If the weather conditions are dry, it will be very difficult to control the fire. Okay, when we are talking about the terrain, if it is grassland, the fire will be going further and further. Type of vegetation, if it is a dry vegetation or the deciduous vegetation, that means that fire will be going for a longer spread or the longer time as well. Coming to the next one, its effectiveness is reduced as the climate change leads to the more extreme conditions. Now, when we are talking about the use of frost check, that actually is not very effective when we are talking about the incidences of the climate change, because these are extreme incidences which are happening, okay, like that is in the Los Angeles, which is happening right now. Now, environmental concern, if we are talking about, so it is potentially harming the aquatic life, because these are some kind of chemicals which are used in the dyeing, etc. And other than that, there is one more thing, that is cadmium. Okay, cadmium is also used. Now, that can be poisonous at times. Okay, now contains harmful substance like cadmium, which can cause cancer for the liver and the kidney diseases that can happen. Other than that, they are actually harming the aquatic life as well. Environmental risks are significant but not yet fully quantified. So that is about the, you can say, fire retardants and the pink fire retardants in the context of the Malibu fires or the Los Angeles fires right now. Okay, here you can see okay, here you can see that we are having this USA. When we are talking about this particular area, you know that this is the Rocky Mountains, then we have this Great Basin which is there. Okay, now from the Great Basin there was this particular wind which is local wind is there, that is Santa Ana winds. Santa Ana winds, and because of these are kind of dry winds which are there. Okay, these are dry winds, and when they are coming towards this particular region of the Los Angeles and all, so there are high chances that there will be fires. But this time these are Malibu fires which has expanded to the Los Angeles. Now, here you can see this is the high pressure zone which has been created on the Great Basin area. Okay, and when we are talking about this particular area or the coastal area, you will be saying that there will be a low pressure zone. Okay, when there is a low pressure zone, there is a high pressure zone. You know that wind has the tendency to flow from high pressure towards the low pressure. So wind's direction will be something like this. Now, there is this mountains which are there, and when there is this mountains, when we are talking about this particular high pressure zone, you will be seeing that in the fall there will be cool, dry and high pressure air builds up at nearly thousands of the feet above the California coast in the Great Basin. So that is what is happening here. The wind is cool and dry. Okay, now that dry high pressure air start to race downhill, because as I told you, these are the mountain region. Okay, from the mountain region you will be seeing that there is a downward movement of the wind which is there, gravitating towards the lower pressure of the Californian coast. Here we already have the lower pressure, and when the wind is going down or when the wind is moving in the, you can say, lower direction, what is happening is that they are becoming drier and drier, and they are losing the moisture. Okay, they are becoming drier, temperature is falling, and ultimately temperature is increasing, and ultimately you will be seeing that over here, if dry conditions are there and somehow if forest fire starts, then it will spread, because there is a, you can say, condition which is favoring the fire over here, because we are having dry airs or the dry winds which are there and which is fueling the fires. Okay, so that is what right now happening in the Los Angeles. Los Angeles has witnessed a lot of damage in the recent years. Okay, so that is there. Coming to the next part, will remain open to all Panama Canal admin reject Trump claims on the Chinese meddling. So here recently our new president-elect of USA has said that he will be renaming the Gulf of Mexico as Gulf of America. He said it sounds fascinating, it sounds good, okay. And he said that we are helping Mexico, we have been actually supplying many things. Other than that, employment also Mexico is coming to America and all. So considering all these things, he has made this particular statement, and then he said that we might take the control of this. One more factor over here is what, there was this one port which has been basically operated by China, okay. Now the you can say Mexican counterpart has said that obviously that is the particular you can say port which has been operated by China, but that was something, there was a bidding process. In the bidding process, China won, and that is why China is operating that particular port. Similarly, there are other countries like USA etc., they are operating the other ports, okay. So that is what has the you can say counter argument which has been made by the Mexican counterpart. Here you can say the vital waterway will remain in the Panamanian hands and open to the commerce for the all countries, rejecting claim by the president-elect Donald Trump that United States should take over it, okay. So that is one thing. Coming to the next one, denied Trump's claims that the China was controlling the canal's operations. So they have said that they are controlling just a port as per the bidding process. Here you can see the Chinese companies operating in the ports on the either end of the canal were part of the Hong Kong consortium that won a bidding process in 1997. He added that the USA and the Taiwanese companies are also operating other ports along the canal as well. The Trump has gone so far to suggest that USA should take back the control of the canal, and he would not rule out using the military if the need be. Now similar remark has been made with respect to the Greenland as well, okay. He has said that they will be purchasing the Greenland, okay, and if the Denmark is not being supportive of it, they might go for the, you can say, use of the force as well, okay. Coming to the next part over here, the US built the canal in early 1900s as it looked over the ways to facilitate the transmit of the commercial and the military vessels between the two coasts. We will be talking about that. Washington relinquished the control of the waterway in 1999 to the Panamanians under the treaty which was signed by the President Jimmy Carter, okay. So that is some of the thing. Earlier what has happened, that France has actually started building the canal over here, but because of the lack of financing, they have given it to USA, and USA has made the canal, and till 1999 they were operating it, they were actually administrating it. After that they have given it to Panama, okay. So they have given it to Panama, and Panama is now operating it, okay. Now let's talk about a little bit of the canal over here. When we are talking about this area, that is your South Pacific Ocean, this is the North Pacific Ocean. So basically there are two oceans, one is Atlantic Ocean, then here is your Pacific Ocean. If you are talking about this particular region, you know that this is your Caribbean Sea, okay. Now here you can see that there is this isthmus of Panama, there is a small landmass which is connecting two big landmasses, that is your isthmus. So isthmus of Panama is there. Now if you have to go for the trade, earlier when the canal was not there, you have to circumvent the South America, and then you have to go to the New York City. So now this route actually was somewhere around more than 13,000 miles, okay, but then they have actually constructed this canal, and now this is a route which is having a length of 5,200 miles, okay. So that is how it is economic, affordable as well. So that is the thing, it is connecting the, when we are talking about the two continents over here, you know that we have North America, we have South America, it is connected by the isthmus of Panama, and along that particular isthmus they have created a canal. Now here you can see this is your Atlantic Ocean, this is your Pacific Ocean, this is the isthmus of Panama and the Panama Canal, this is isthmus. Isthmus means that two big land masses are connected by a small land mass, okay. So that is isthmus. They have actually cut down this isthmus and they have made a canal over here, okay. Here you can see, when we are talking about the France started the construction of the Panama Canal in 1881, but failed due to the financial issues. United States took over the canal, and they have they have taken over the project in 1904, and in 1914, in 10 years they have built the canal, and then they have operated it for a while and given it to, you can say, Panama in 1999, and they were operating it. Now when we are talking about the, you can say, a particular you can say process which has been used over here, because there is a difference in the elevation in the rocks over there, and that is why what happens here is there is the system, that is lock and go system, which has been used over here. One important lake is Gatun Lake, which is there in the transmission over here. You will be seeing that when the, you can say, boat is over here, this particular you can say whatever restriction is there or the bar, that will lower down and boat will be moving in this particular area. Okay. Now what will happen is that this will again come up and lock the gate, and then this will go down. When this will go down, this water will be coming over here, and that will be raising the level of the water over here, and then it will be moving further again. Okay. So here you can say that there are some steps like situation is there, that is basically, or the geography is like that, you can say elevations are different. Now considering that, what they are doing is that they are increasing the level in one block. When the level is with respect to the next block, they will be moving the, you can say, ship over here. Here you can see this will go down and ship will be over here. Then the water level will be increasing because this is locked and that will be open. So ultimately ship will come at this level, and that it will be moving over here. Then again this will be locked and water will be sent to this compartment, and ultimately when it is reaching a particular height, ship will be moved to the next compartment. Okay. So that is the process they are using, that is lock and go system. Okay. And the Gatun Lake, which is important over here because that is the part of the transmission over here. Then coming to the next one, another tiger enters Bengal. States say they won't return it. Now when we are talking about the tiger movements, if there are continuous forest, there are high chances that tiger will be moving from one landscape to another. Okay. Now tiger, they here West Bengal has said that they are having more, you can say, tiger friendly area. Now they have said that last time there was this Gina tiger, she has actually left the, you can say, area, and then she has gone to the, you can say, areas of Jharkhand, as well as when we are talking about the West Bengal and all. So ultimately that was that particular tigress was actually captured, sedated, and then it was sent back to the Simlipal. So ultimately this time they have said that they will not be returning the tiger. Okay. So here you can say West Bengal government has said that they will not be returning the tiger to Jharkhand if they have captured it. Okay. Why? Because they are saying that our forest you can say officials are doing all the jobs, they are capturing them. And second thing is, this time there is no collar, tiger collar, you can say remote collars, which are basically used in the neck, around the neck of a tiger, so that they can identify the movement. That is not there. That means that you cannot identify from where this tiger has come. Okay. So that is why they are saying that since that kind of you can say collar is not there, so this time they might not be sending back the tigers to, you can say, the home state, that is Jharkhand. And other than that, they have said that this area is more suitable for tigers. Okay. So that is there. Now what is happening is that, why is that when your tigers are entering from one state to another, so what is the issue? So here that is the unrecorded movement. Okay. Because when we are talking about the you can say movement of the tiger, you know that if there are forest stretches which are there, they will like to wander in the areas. Okay. So the movement of tiger between the state is common. Such dispersal goes often goes sorry. Sorry. Okay. Such dispersal often undergoes unrecorded when states share continuous stretches of the quality forests. Wandering tigers are not interfered unless they reach an area where people are not comfortable with them. Until unless there is a human wildlife conflict, they will not be worrying much about it. But if that is there, then the forest you can say official will be intervening. Okay. So that is the situation right now. What is important for us is that what is the status of the tiger and what are the habitat, etc. So here you can say in this article you will be seeing that when we are talking about the tiger, this is the continental species which is there, and here you can see if we are talking about the habitat, that is tropical rainforest, evergreen forest, temperate forest, mangroves, grasslands, and the savannas. So mostly if there is you can say grasslands, if there is enough prey, they can be living in a wide range of, you can say, habitat. Now countries where tigers population is found, there are 13 tiger raised countries which are there. India is one of them. Okay. India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Russia, China, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam. These are your 13 tiger raised countries. Okay. Now if you are talking about the IUCN status, so that is basically endangered. Okay. In the sites it is there in the appendix 1. Threats are habitat loss, poaching, illegal trade, and human wildlife conflict. So this is about tiger that can be you can say asked you. Other than that, we have a Project Tiger, that is a flagship project, Project Tiger. You can tell me in the comment box that when it was started. Okay. So that is about it. Now moving further, PM to open key Z mode tunnel. We have talked about Z mode tunnel earlier as well. This is with respect to the connectivity. Okay. So when we are talking about the area, that is Sonmarg, from Sonmarg to the central Kashmir, So they are coming up with this tunnel. Okay, so this is, you can say, part of the, when we are talking about the Zojila tunnel and all, so this area is connected with each other. Here you can see that is your Jadmore tunnel, and then in the vicinity you will be having the Zojila tunnel as well. Okay, so that is why it is important. Now when we are talking about the Jadmore tunnel, the name it has been given because of the shape, that is of the jet shape, and it is from the Kangan to Sonmarg. Okay, so that is there. It is giving the all weather connectivity. Here you can see the Jadmore tunnel will ensure all weather connectivity to the tourist destination from the Sonmarg from central Kashmir. The overground stretch is prone to the avalanches and the snow ends, and that is why they have actually gone for this particular tunnel. And the name is because of the jet shape, which we have already seen. So this particular tunnel will be started by PM. So I just have taken this particular map, and this is important because of the Srinagar Leh highway. Okay, so that is why it becomes even more important and strategic as well. Then coming to the next one, coffee is good for your health, okay, but only if you are taking it in the morning. So that is the important part over here. If you are taking a good coffee in the morning, that is you can say beneficial for your cardiovascular health as well. Okay, so it is increasing your chance of surviving higher. Here you can see people who drink coffee in the morning reap benefits that are not seen by those who consume the beverages later in the day. So if you are taking coffee in the later part of the day, that is not having that kind of impact, but if you are taking coffee in the morning, that will have a good impact on your body. Morning coffee drinkers are 16% less likely to die of any cause and 31% less likely to die from the cardiovascular diseases. So that is something which we have seen. There are no, you can say, what is the rationale behind it, that is not known, but the thing is that is a study, that is a survey which is giving this kind of results. It's not just whether you drink coffee or how much you drink, but it is about the time of the day when you are drinking it. So if you are drinking it in the morning, that is good for you. Although this study did not explain the rationale behind it, okay, caffeine consumption even 6 hours before bedtime can have a negative impact on your body if you are taking coffee after in the day. So obviously the late you have it, the more you can say negative impact it will have on your life. Okay, so that is about this article. Moving further, fact checkers, we have already talked about this, that the Meta, they are going for the the third party fact checking. They are letting it go, and they will be going for the, you can say, the community based services. Okay, so we have already discussed this, so you can go through this. And fact checking actually started in way back in 2016 when there was this issue which has been raised in USA that Russian meddling was there in the elections. Okay, and because of which they have actually gone for the fact checking. So you can go through this. The second thing is that they are going for the community based thing. How they will be allowing the community notes. Here community notes inspired by the Twitter's model, community node will allow verified users to add context to the post. They will be adding the context to the post. Now what they are saying is that these particular community you can say person who was posting the notes, they can themselves be biased. So there is this one concern that there can be a bias. Contributions are crowdsourced, hence could be prone to manipulation and the coordination by the groups with biases. Okay, Meta's goal, when we are talking about the Meta, what they are trying to do is they are seeking to minimize the acquisition of the bias and improve transparency, although effectiveness in the reducing the misinformation remains debated. Okay, so that is about this. You can read this. Coming to the next one, Trump's call to rename Gulf of Mexico, history of names and America. You know that earlier there was this Christopher Columbus. He has found Americas in 1492, and then there was this another you can say explorer, that is Amerigo Vespucci. Amerigo Vespucci, he was the person, he on his name basically you can say the name America has been given. And when we are talking about the Mexico, that is depending on the local empire which was there, they have given the name. Now you can go through this article. Okay, this is passing reference and this is for your own read. If you are interested, then you can go through this. Okay, other than that, these two information, Amerigo Vespucci and the Christopher Columbus 1492, these two informations are important for you. Other than that, you can see where Gulf of Mexico is there and why it was in news, because recently, as I told you, the you can say President-elect Donald Trump has said that they will be taking control of the Gulf of Mexico. They will rename as the Gulf of America. Okay, so that is the Mexico region. Okay, and this is the USA's region. Okay, Now this Mexico, this is important because there are various ports which are there in USA as well as in Mexico. So that is why this is the debate which is there. Can US do it unilaterally? Generally no. When we are talking about the international system, we have a system, we have one organization which is dealing with such things. The name of the organization given over here, that is the International Hydrographic Organization. Okay, so that is there, and in United States and the Mexico, both of them are the members over here. So considering that they cannot do it unilaterally, but that is the statement which was there in news, so I have taken it. Now when we are talking about the no Mr. Subramaniam, he has made a remark that was kind of having a pressure on the workers that they have to work 90 hours a week, okay, undermining the family. So that was there. So Subramaniam's statement was there. It suggested a 90-hour work week with comment dismissing the family life, sparkling a widespread backlash which is there. Public opinion which obviously is against it, because when we are talking about the corporate disparities, when we talk about the CEO level, you can say officers, so you will be seeing that they are having various perks which are there, okay, and that is not available for the, you can say, workers. But the work ethics has been imposed on the workers that you have to work for these particular hours. So that has been discussed in that. So it is having a social aspect which has been covered over here. So you can go through this particular article. Then a crack in the MAGA edifice, or you can say MAGA edifice, when we are talking about the issue of H1B visa. We have already talked about that, okay. So that is why I have given small notes over here, so you can go through this, and then you can say you can read this particular article as well, okay. If you are using the PDF for your reference, then you just go through this particular thing, and before we have already discussed about the H1V1 visa, okay, H1B visas, okay. So that is there. Some of the important factors with respect to the H1 visa I have already discussed over here. Then for your practice question, which question was given, that is Pravasi Bharatiya Divas celebrated as a convention every year, every 2 years, every 3 years, or every 5 years. So option B would be a right answer, that is every 2 years, okay. Then for your today's practice, we have this question: which lake is integral part of the Panama Canal's functioning? Gatun Lake, Lake Maracaibo, Lake Titicaca, Lake Nicaragua, okay. So you can attempt this question and answer to me in the comment box. With that, I would like to take your leave, and I'll see you in the next session. Till then, have a nice day. Thank you, and please subscribe the channel.